Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Malt channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance video today, and today we will be having yet another fragrance comparison video. That's right, another comparison video. This is one of the more popular parts of this channel actually, guys. Much like the clone comparisons, I also have these comparisons where I do compare the OG versus the flankers, or in this case the Extrait de Parfum version. Now before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to the channel. We are pretty much halfway to 15,000 subscribers, guys, so please continue the support. Thank you, everyone. And the fragrances that we will be talking about today are none other than BDK's Gris Charnel. Yes, Gris Charnel is back in the channel yet again, as well as the 2022 release that is still making waves right now. It's BDK's Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum. Yeah, so it's gonna be the OG Gris Charnel versus Extrait de Parfum. Now, what prompted me to make this video? As you guys know, I have been testing this one right here, and a lot of y'all voted on this as pretty much the top one that you wanted me to review. Now, here was my first impression upon trying Extrait de Parfum, guys. It only took one full wear for me to go, whoa. I'm like, this is different, yo. I was just like, this is really different, or at least it felt really different from the BDK Gris Charnel, the OG that I had smelled, during the formative years of the channel. And that prompted me to go back and revisit the original Gris Charnel. I mean, eventually you guys are going to ask me that question anyways. What's the comparison? So instead of making a no hype video on Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum, heck, I went back to the OG Gris Charnel, and I've got a lot to tell you guys. Now, really quickly, let's revisit the original BDK Parfums Gris Charnel, guys, because this one right here was basically the fragrance that started it all. I mean, this one came out during the formative years of the channel, 2019, guys, and you know what? I didn't really have to hype this. This fragrance is absolutely wonderful, and the hype just went on and on and on, and I'm assuming this is the highest selling fragrance that BDK ever had, and so that is why 2022 they came out with the Extrait de Parfum, guys. And usually when we see something like that, we have this thought that maybe it's like a cash grab or something, or maybe it's something where they're kind of going with the momentum of the sales and they want to really push it even harder. But in this case, guys, like I said, you know what? I had a great time with Gris Charnel. When I tried Extrait, I was like, man, it's different. It's pretty different. I was expecting something really similar because the notes seemed really similar on paper, guys, but you know what? The actual experience was pretty different. So before we talk about the similarities and differences between the Extrait de Parfum and the OG, let's do a rerun of the OG Gris Charnel. Now, this fragrance started it all. Like I said, this fragrance is just beautiful from top to bottom. And the thing I like about Gris Charnel, guys, is that it is actually pretty simple. Okay, when you look at the notes, the way that they're arranged, it's not a multitude of notes. Really, each part will give you an amazing experience, and that's why Gris Charnel is pretty much loved. Let's look at the intro, guys. The opening of Gris Charnel, it does have cardamom, it has fig, as well as tea. Now, the intro of the Extrait, I will be talking about a little bit later, but the intro of this one is impactful. It does give you a nice, beautiful boost of sweetness, basically, as well as some spice. So right here, I would say on the intro, guys, although it has tea, which is really lingering in the intro, it's gonna be cardamom and fig. And fig is a unique fruit, okay? It's not like citruses or berries. Fig does have a unique smell, and it goes really nice with the cardamom spice, and it's impactful. Okay, it starts off with a nice aura scent of fig and cardamom, which again will make a lot of people love it from the get-go. And with this fragrance, I mean, really, I do get a lot of compliments from the jump. On the mid of BDK's Gris Charnel, the OG, you're also going to get a beautiful combination of iris and vetiver. You've got some sweetness and creaminess mixed with the earthiness and slight smokiness of the vetiver in the mid of this one. And then the dry down is absolutely lovely, real simple, guys. It only has 2 notes. It's got tonka bean, lovely tonka bean, sweet tonka bean, as well as a very prominent sandalwood note. So you're getting creaminess actually from mid to the end with that iris, and then eventually that sandalwood. And this formula is basically what made this fragrance awesome. So it's a nice impactful start, and then the mid to the end, really beautiful combination, sweet sandalwood, vetiver. All these notes are working really well. On top of that, this fragrance also racks up the compliments, guys, you know, which is really interesting because this, although it has a very simple formula, some of the notes here aren't your usual notes, you know, that everybody knows. However, this one racks up the compliments. I mean, every time I wear BDK Parfums Gris Charnel, there's always people saying how good I smell. You smell amazing. You smell great. There's an amazing scent trail that this fragrance has. A very decent scent trail. And also this fragrance, really quickly, the performance of this also lasts pretty long. I would say 9 to 10 hours significant scent, guys. So yeah, that's why this fragrance is loved by many. Impactful start, beautiful fruity fig with spicy cardamom, iris and vetiver, and then that tonka bean in the end. Absolutely lovely with sandalwood, a prominent sandalwood that you can really smell, not like a, you know, sub-level type of sandalwood. And compliments galore. Okay, this thing racks up the compliments. That's why people love it. Now, when I saw that they released Extrait de Parfum, I was actually skeptical. I was pretty skeptical, guys, and I was thinking, yeah, it was gonna be some sort of cash grab. And when I saw that the notes were almost the same with just a little additives, I honestly skipped it. You know, even though you guys voted on it, I skipped it because I felt like maybe it's just like a stronger concentration, and the OG was not a slouch. So I was like, meh, that doesn't matter really. But when I tried Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum, man, like I said, guys, I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this right here. This one right here, although it has similar notes, guys, they made a bunch of tweaks on this, guys, believe you me. Right here on the intro, it's pretty similar to the OG BDK Gris Charnel. It does have your cardamom spice, it still has the tea, and it still has the fig. But what's the difference right here? With Gris Charnel Extrait de Parfum, they amped up the tea and they minimized the fig. Okay, so the cardamom spice stays the same, but then the black tea is much more prominent with this one right here. And the fig, instead of giving you that fruitier boost, is kind of dampened here, guys. So right in the intro of this, it feels like a dark, smooth, like slick opening. It's quite different from the fruity, spicy blast that I got with the OG. That's why I was like, man, I gotta review both again, because this one right here is smooth, dark, tea and spice with just a slight amount of fig for the sweetness. Now the mid of this one, man, different as well. Okay, so this one right here shares a very similar mid with your iris as well as your vetiver, but then there's also Cistus Incanus, which is rock rose, that adds a sweet musky feel to this fragrance. Now let me tell you, the differences are right here on the Extrait de Parfum, much more smokier vetiver, much more smokier, that you can smell within, I would say, like 8 to 10 minutes of this fragrance. There's that smokiness that is so prominent that's not there in the OG. And like I told you guys, it's totally different. But you know what? I can see a theme right here, because if you look at the bottle of Extrait de Parfum, it's black. It's black and sleek. And so I told you guys that intro was going to be kind of like this dark and smooth type of nighttime fragrance, guys. And you know what? The smokiness of that vetiver totally complements the whole thing, guys. Okay, so much more smoky, much more vetiver. And the other thing that I noticed when it came to Extrait de Parfum was that it got really strong within the mid part. I would say like that first 2 hours or first 2 to 3 hours of wearing Extrait de Parfum, there was like a stronger blast that I felt compared to the OG, which had a more impactful start. This one right here, because of the rock rose, I would say in a stronger vetiver and a stronger iris, it's much more on the projection side, okay? And I can really feel that every time I do a full wear of this Extrait de Parfum right here. So you'll notice that as you're wearing it, maybe other people will catch your scent trail much easier. So if you're into that stronger projecting perfumes, I can say easily this one projects a lot stronger than the OG. Now the base notes of Extrait does share the similar sandalwood and tonka bean combination that's on the OG. But let me tell you, it's quite different yet again, guys, because the OG, in my opinion, had a simpler and easier to understand dry down. I mean, basically it's tonka bean with that sweetness and hay-like, tobacco-like properties with a creamy sandalwood that's very, very prominent. Now, right here, I would say it's totally different, and it will also account for the longevity of this fragrance right here. The Extrait de Parfum, if I could just like make an analogy on the longevity of this fragrance, we're talking about a 24-mile New York City marathon runner, basically. And that is because of all these notes on the dry down, okay? So the dry down, not as simple. I would say the sandalwood is still there, but it's not gonna be a super prominent sandalwood. Why? Because it's got cedar, it's got vanilla, and it's got that little spike of patchouli right here in the end, guys, okay? So you'll still get that lovely tonka bean transition, but because now you've got, well, Madagascar vanilla, the sweetness of vanilla, an additional woody note of cedar with the sandalwood, and of course patchouli, the dry down is like an experience on its own. It's not a simple dry down, guys, and this really lasts a super long time. It's almost like a real perfume to begin with. And let me tell you, the longevity of Extrait, easily over like 13 hours, easily. I mean, it could have been 15, but I fell asleep, guys. But this one right here goes consistent, goes hard, and I guess that's why it is the Extrait de Parfum, guys. And if we're looking at the cost, this one significantly costs more than the OG. But like I said, if you're looking for more, stronger notes, longevity to a crazy amount, 15 hours plus, then this might be your baby right here, the Extrait de Parfum. However, this doesn't mean that we're gonna just archive the OG. The OG is pretty nice as well. It is not a slouch. Performance-wise, it's pretty great. It lasts 9 to 10 hours. But let me tell you, they're kind of different in the theme, guys. At least for me, that's what it is. The OG, guys, is much more mainstream. Not only that, it's also much more unisex. I mean, this is the one that maybe more women would get into versus the Extrait de Parfum. This is a lot more unisex. It's got a fruitier intro, easier to understand, like I said. I mean, this is why that fragrance became pretty amazing, right? It became very popular. The Extrait de Parfum, guys, I would say darker. Okay, darker, smoother, sleeker, much more attuned for the nighttime. You know, if you're gonna go out at night on those elegant nights, black tie appeal, this one definitely has it. And it has a much more reserved intro compared to the OG, guys. But of course, this one right here also has that super strong projection though. So although it has a sleek, more reserved intro, it does pick up, like I said, on the mid with the boost of Cistus Incanus, Iris, Smoky Vetiver, and the dry down is mass appealing, in my opinion. It's mass appealing and it's long lasting. So yeah, those are kind of like the similarities and differences between the two, but they have their own appeal. And I think that it is not redundant to own both of these, because I think that they're kind of different actually. You know, it's not redundant to own the OG BDK Gris Charnel as well as the Extrait de Parfum. I mean, think of it as maybe the Gris Charnel is kind of like that day and night mainstream appealing perfume, and then this would be your nighttime a little bit more formal type of perfume. And if you're a guy, you can actually share this with your significant other. Weather-wise, the OG Gris Charnel is much more versatile, and I think that this one right here, Extrait de Parfum, is more for the fall winter season or the cold spring nights, guys. Okay, and price-wise, they're different as well. I mean, this is more expensive by over $100, I think. So really, you got to think about what I said earlier on how, you know, you could possibly use these perfumes, or you could just try both of them. I mean, what I do like I said, is that these fragrances, both of them, they do not have the type of notes that everybody enjoys, that everybody already knows. But you know what it does, or they do both have a magical effect on people. Like I said, they rack up the compliments like crazy. I get them all the time, every time I'm wearing Gris Charnel or the Extrait. And that is it. That is my quick comparison of BDK Parfums Gris Charnel as well as the Extrait de Parfum. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this. If you guys have one or the other or both, let me know if a lot of my commentary is spot on with what you guys have tried. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're headed to 15K. I can't wait to go back to work and then eventually get to my 3-day break so I can give you guys 3 more videos of these amazing perfumes that I have been trying. So until then, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Take care. Peace.